Hey everybody, it's Simply D. I'm back with another episode of In the Blind, or as I like to call it, My Life in the Blind. Um, so, over the last, I don't know, few days, I've been looking at a lot of, just online content regarding what's happening in the blind community and some of the challenges that we all face and, things like that. And I also told you guys, I think, so we're gonna address some of those things in this episode. But also, I want to thank you guys for the incredible response that I got for the last video when it came down to where my passion and love for music came from, because I think it's that love of music that kind of sparked everything else that I ended up getting into. I've well, that and acting, like the like some of you, I don't know if I've talked about this or not, because I talk about a lot of stuff on the radio show that sometimes I feel like when I'm talking on the vlog that you guys may already know, but then I have to think about the fact that a lot of you may not even listen to the radio show. I'm not offended. I know that we're on at night when you're all trying to sleep, but but anyway, when I was younger, my brother and I got an opportunity to do movies. So, whether we were doing extra work or whether we had a few lines here, a few lines there, we had an opportunity to get used to what it was like to be on set. And I think that kind of stuck with me. So between music and acting, I think everything kind of revolved around that for me growing up. Especially because it provided me ways of escape mentally when I was just burnt out or done or tired or just needed a way to express myself. So anyway, first let's talk about and I'm also going to answer one of the questions that came in because I thought it was really interesting, and I think that this is a great platform to talk about a lot of the things that I'm involved with. But the first thing I wanted to say is there was one of my friends on Facebook. Anybody who pays attention to what is going on my Facebook knows that an article came up talking about guide dogs or service animals on cruise ships, and they wanted my opinion. Okay, and one thing that a lot of people who were outraged and just had a bunch of emotional responses about that whole situation, because apparently in this article somebody was complaining somebody was complaining that while they were on the cruise ship, somebody had their service animal was feeding their service animal from the table. They were doing a whole bunch of things that just would not be tolerated by anybody who had service animals who were properly trained. I mean, it just wouldn't happen, right? So my friend Taisha hit me up and asked me if I would, comment on what was being said. So I looked at everything people had to say, and a lot of people brought up the ADA rules about service animals and this, that, and the other. But only one person said the thing that I was thinking when I originally was looking at this article, which was the problem isn't necessarily with the fact that people are bringing service animals onto cruise ships, because they're allowed to go where we go. So that's fine. The issue is that a lot of people are going online and purchasing service animal kits, which basically give you a piece of paper saying that your dog is a service animal and gives you a smock, because people don't even know what the colors for the smocks mean anymore because there's so many colored smocks out there. And there's no way to really certify that the dog has been through any official training to become a service animal. Plus, a lot of businesses don't know what actually qualifies as a service animal and what doesn't, because certain types of dogs that are considered service dogs don't actually legally qualify as service animals, right? So because of the fear of being sued, a lot of the companies don't enforce the actual letter of the law when it comes down to the service animals, how they're supposed to be, how they're supposed to look, how they're supposed to behave, all that kind of stuff. And people who actually have the well-trained, well-groomed, appropriate service animals, the ones who've been trained to deal with their service animals in public situations, are getting the bad rap, because people want to take their pets on cruises, so they just go online and find something that's going to look like it's going to pass. And because companies can't ask you specifically what the dog's what the dog is trained to do, or more to the fact they can't ask you what your disability is. So because of that, all they can ever ask you is it a service animal? You say yes, and then they just go with the flow. Unless they read more into what they are allowed to do, what their rights are, they just, and people end up suffering a lot of times because of the phony service animals, especially the phony service dogs that are out there. So my thing is, it's important for us every once in a while, the blind community, to educate the businesses that we frequent about the rules of service animals, so that when they do have somebody that comes in that isn't necessarily qualified to be a service animal, or they're just breaking the rules. Like, there are certain rules in place to protect the business owners from people who have unruly service animals. Like, I'm not saying that every service animal acts appropriately. They are dogs. They are whatever kind of the animal you're using. They are animals. So they, every once in a while may act like animals, especially if they are not being corrected back into the right behaviors. So, hey, it's just like a child. If you don't correct the children, you ever seen the child in the store that gets mad at mommy and smacks mommy in the face, and then mommy's embarrassed? First off, that would never happen with us growing up. That I can't even imagine reaching up and smacking my that. No. But I digress. But the same things happen with service animals. If they can get away with certain things, they will get away with those things, especially if, they're not being corrected into the right behavior. It just is. That just is how it is. So, but I did see something when I went on a trip where the hotel actually had a posting of the expected behaviors of people who have service animals. So that way, that they know the rules. That they know that your animal has to be clean. Your animal has to be, there are certain things that just have to be taken care of so that it doesn't affect everybody else around you. You're not always going to have people who are happy to see that you have a dog with you. I know that firsthand. But at the same time, if you're following the rules that were set up by the ADA to protect you and also to protect businesses, it shouldn't be any issues. Okay? So that's the short version of my spill when it comes to that. But I am thinking about doing a radio show episode that deals with, a couple of the blind issues, especially the more popular ones that are going on right now, like service animals, or, how do blind people vacation? I thought that was a really interesting question. And do we feel that, vacations are set up for the blind to have positive experiences? So I was like, hadn't really thought about it to that, to the degree that the question was posed, but, this could be an interesting topic. So, and I think they also want to know more about, somebody was asking about, what kind of jobs are out there for the blind to succeed in. So, so just all these kinds of things. So, if you have any, input, feel free. I also want to know, for those of you who are visually impaired, or those of you who have friends who are visually impaired, what is the dumbest question, or what is the most awkward or the most outlandish question you've ever heard asked about a blind person? Because I've been receiving a few for the last couple of weeks, because these are questions people really want to know. But so I'm probably gonna do a whole episode just on those questions, because I find that they are amusing, yet it also teaches you how undereducated a lot of people are regarding dealing with people who are blind. Just straight up. So, and I think people feel uncomfortable talking to me about my blindness. I'm like, why? Why should you feel bad talking to me about something that's been part of my life for, who knows, you don't know how long, but it just depends on how you talk to me. But, if I'm laughing, smiling, and joking, you shouldn't be all sad talking to me about my blindness, So anyway, the other thing I wanted to talk to you guys about was, oh, yes. So mentorship is a big thing that, seems to be happening right now. Like, I do some mentoring for different people in different parts of the entertainment industry. I help them with, various things. So I have, I feel like I've adopted some some adults, you know. But especially when it comes down to like PR or running or setting up and running your own business, or things like that. Like I think I work with like 3 people right now who actually work in who either are working in PR, branding, or they and I remember for one person in particular, we actually built a company for her just so she could have an opportunity to give it a shot and see if it's really for her. But anyway, and actually, that young lady, she's actually doing really well. She did not stay in the PR field, but she is doing very well, and I'm really proud of her. But anyway, mentorship. This is just a little piece of advice. Okay, if you're out there looking for a mentor, one of the things that you need to be aware of is that the job of your mentor is to prepare you for the thing that you say you want to do. The other side of that, though, is that means that they also have to be real with you as to what you do well and what you don't do well. Because so over the last couple of, like, basically I was on a call yesterday, and on this call yesterday, I was talking to somebody's mentor about the work that they were doing for me, right? And the mentor said, "Okay, look, you can work with this person. That's not a problem, but this is what they're not good at. So if you're going to shape something for them so that they can kind of succeed in this area, right now they're still building this part of their skill set." Now, I said, okay. I like that this person actually took the time to, they know the person well enough to say, this is what they're good at, this is where they need some work, this is what you can expect from this person. Okay. Now, growing up, these are the kind of things that I expected to see. These are the kinds of things that I expected to do for those people that I mentor. So, like, I have a person in New York that I work with, and this person is, insanely talented, but has some focus issues from time to time, right? So I would just let them know, look, you got to get back on task. You got to get focused. You got to stay, you got to stay in the zone so that you can accomplish what you want to accomplish. When people call me to ask me for a referral and they want to know a bit about this person's abilities, I say, this is their strengths and these are some of their weaknesses, but their strengths far outweigh their weaknesses. But this is what you are, but this is where you kind of want to, if you're structuring something because you really want to see them succeed, this is what you really want to, this is how you want to structure it. I've done it for some people. They've done it for some of my people. It's just really cool to help people basically build the muscles necessary to succeed, right? So mentorship isn't about stroking your ego. It's about being realistic with who you are, where you are, and how far you are from where you want to go, and then helping you build a roadmap to that point. And then if someone is going to want to work with that person, then it's a good idea to kind of help structure how that working relationship is going to go so that they both have a chance of getting what they want out of the deal. Because other than that, what tends to happen is people go out thinking that they're prepared for something that they're not prepared for, and they fall flat on their face. And then they get really upset, really discouraged, and they can't figure out where they went wrong, and it kind of sets them back a ways. Now, am I saying that holding somebody's hand throughout the whole process is necessary? No. But I am saying that if you know the person you're working with well, then you know how to structure things for them in a way that's going to help them to succeed the most. So, and I'm all about people having a chance to succeed. Now, I work in the music industry, so that means that I deal with a lot of egos and a lot of people who never do anything wrong. Okay, but I'll be the first to tell you, I love music. I love singing, but I am not the person with the magical ear. Okay, like I'm great at finding talent. I'm great at doing a lot of things, but I am not the perfect pitch person. That would be my partner, Jules. Okay, I am a quick songwriter. I can do a lot of things, but I'm also quick to tell you I'm not good at that. But I learned that from my mentor, the one who told me, if you don't know where you are not good, you won't know what to fix. And you also won't know how to structure the deals for yourself so that you can win. So I'm going to leave you guys with that. Like, pay attention to your strengths and your weaknesses, and, and grow, learn. Don't be afraid to go out there and be a mentor or find a mentor for the things that you want to do in life, because it is important to kind of have somebody who's going to, it helps to have somebody who's going to watch out for you and help you learn more about yourself. And I know it worked for me. And as I work with a lot of this young talent that's out here right now, from the new actors to the new musicians to a lot of these young companies that are coming up, I am super excited to be able to consult or mentor as needed. And and I'm glad that I have people around me who also do the same thing for me along the way. So anyway, I know this was a longer vlog. I hope you guys learned something. If you have any opinions about anything I talked about, be sure to leave them in the in the comments below. I can't wait to hear from you guys. Once again, feel free to subscribe. Definitely share these videos, by the way. But subscribe, share, and comment. And don't forget to like the video because it does help out a lot. And yeah, I'll talk to you guys soon. Oh, yes. And tomorrow's my birthday, y'all. So, I'm getting old. Anyway, you guys have a great day, and we'll talk to you soon. I'm Simply D. Yeah, talk to you later.